We're going to rename the episode Basics of Meditation. And
yeah, I actually wanted to say more. I didn't think that we would get like in such a discussion of meditation, which is so funny, actually.
I know. I was just thinking the whole time, like, we're talking about basics, but this is just an episode of meditation.
That's fine. I mean, we can roll with it. I just didn't know we had so much to say about meditation because honestly, this is something I'm just not hearing a lot from witches. Like maybe in the space of New Age, like I'm hearing a ton in different ways and modes of modality, but like I don't really see that a whole lot in the occult. So that made me really interesting.
welcome to Throw It in the Cauldron. My name is Melissa, and this is a podcast where Casual, Tallwin, and I throw everything we are learning and experiencing on our occult journeys into a melting pot of ideas. So if you are like us and you are in the process of navigating your path, working to figure out how to apply what you're learning to the where, when, and who you are, then we welcome you to come along with us and throw it in the cauldron. So to start off today, Tallwin is going to draw us a card.
We're gonna stamp that
Don't worry, we got the move, we got the
recording over it with my name.
Every time.
At the end of the season, you're gonna get it. Okay. I am pulling a card this time, not from Moonology, but from the Angelarium. I don't know if you can see that. It's a beautiful deck with very, etheric imagery that gets me a little bit in the headspace of more interpretation, more intuitive interpretation. So let's see. What do y'all want to let us know? I don't know how to pronounce this. I'm gonna butcher that. I'm so sorry. Sucklef? Oh gosh.
Sucklef. Just don't be so shitty. No.
Is that how you pronounce that? Oh my gosh. I didn't...
Sucklef?
I think you're doing good. See? Oh, I love the tree imagery though.
That is so
right?
cool.
That was the first thing that popped up as well. Like, man, it's very green. It's very nature-based. And yeah, with the tree in the middle of that. Very grounding. So let me just see what it says in the book. And that's probably going to take a little bit. Oh, I'm in the Italian section. Wait. There it is. Okay, so I'm not going to try to pronounce that again, but it's the angel of verdancy. The wind moves through the grass and waves, carrying with it the seeds of growth. It flows across the landscape and burrows into the cool soil. Beneath a fallow earth, seeds vibrate and burst, changing the loam, the transmuted life already craving the open air and the ecstasy of sunlight. It is nature and natural for plant life to seek the sky and the blessing of the sun. With this simple act, prayer, the dominion of Sucklef expands. With open hands, that angel denies decay and defies entropy. All is verdant where the angel wanders. Let your roots take hold and allow the gaze of Sucklef to fall on you. It is the season for blossoming. And then it says here, signs, a branch, a flower, a seed. Ooh, this is
very
kind of
spring.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, the sun was out today. We sat in the park and it was actually warm. Yeah, that's very relevant to the current moment because this is the month where spring begins. Or at least when we recorded.
Yeah,
That's what will come out in
exactly.
April. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that was
Nice.
really fitting. Like we're slowly waking up. It's almost spring season. We're seeing just the remnants of winter time, and it's like very, very early spring. So that's cool. I like that. Anything
Very
else
good.
you think of?
I think that's a good way to start off. Well, because it's like today too, we're going to talk about basics and fundamentals. So it's not basic. Isn't that it's easy? It's that it's pivotal to learning processes. So the first question I have for you all today is, oh my goodness, go away. What do you consider basics in your practice? Is maybe I thought where we would start this conversation.
Mm-hmm. Let me see.
Basics and foundations, kind of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like it sounds simple and easy on paper, I feel like, but then you will ask several practitioners probably, and they have different interpretations or understandings of basics, right? Because I feel like you can ask several people and they have different definitions or understandings of what they're seeing as basic versus maybe more advanced or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
right. Because it's like there's two. It's like within a tradition, there's premises, right? So if I was thinking about what fundamental premises are in my practice, it's animism and relationship and reciprocity. And if you don't have that as the framework you're hanging everything on, then you're never going to be initiated into the mysteries of that tradition. But that I feel like that's like tradition specific. So if we're looking at things that can kind of be applied to any tradition, that there's just so many books, and everybody has an opinion about what it is, and it's just how do you even like weed through, just trying to thinking about what is specific to your own practice is maybe like a better place to try to start than what people would say basics are. I have a bunch of notes and can go in, but if one of you have
I mean, it's funny because one of the reasons I was actually looking forward to this episode as well as that, I was like, I feel like I'm gonna learn a lot from this, because it's funny, I was sitting and writing my notes and I was like, I just feel like I'm writing the same thing over and over again. And I think I'm kind of hitting a spot in my practice where I'm, over the winter, like just before the new year, I felt like my practice was going into a bit of an expansion, and then like it was really good at the beginning of the year, and then since the middle of January it's just been, I've really struggled even in my basics. And the main thing that I have like written throughout my notes is my meditation and my Reiki practice, because I practice Reiki too. And so like for me, I guess if I just remind me what the question was again before I get
just
lost.
what do you consider basics in your practice, like for you?
So
what is
the
a basic
basics
for
in
you?
my practice would be like the most fundamental thing for me is meditation. That's personal to me, but yeah, like if I'm not doing anything else, I'm definitely meditating. And what's really interesting is that like with there's been so much chaos in the past like month, in the past month and a half, and I've been very up and down myself, that I even found like my meditation practice was slipping, and I've been like in the last week I've been watching it like, we've got to get a fucking grip on this, because if that's the only thing I'm doing and that's slipping, then I clearly have a lot to reflect on. But I'm just gonna say meditation right now. Meditation is like my basic, my bare bones, and then there's my Reiki too. But I feel like that also falls into meditation, because when I'm really doing my bare bones, it's like I do my transcendental meditation and then I do my Reiki meditation, and if I'm not doing anything else, that's what I'm doing. You can more or less guarantee that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think meditation's a big part of what I do as well, like journey work or just being able to access that liminal place is like important. I know everybody hates to do meditation. Like, you have to do it. I feel like another big one for me is journaling has been really big. And my teacher, Josh Williams, he says it's so beautiful, but he says, like, when I forget who I am, I go to this journal and I can look through and look back at where I was and what I was feeling when I sat in the center of myself, like when I felt most at home and most connected, and see what I wrote when I was in those places. And it's like I have a little, just like a little, one of those junk journals someone gave me, and I love it. And I just, anything that just like feels so grounding to me, I'll write it down. I don't even try to quote it or like cite it or anything. And so when I'm in a place where I feel that way, then I can go through and like read these little bits of things I wrote, and it just like helps bring me back. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I'm about. That's what's important to me. And it also helps tie things together. Like there was a tree I went and visited and had a pretty profound experience with. And then I was like, oh yeah, I went and visited that tree once before. And I went back and looked what was happening during the time I had gone there the first time. And I was just like, oh, this tree is very important to me. I didn't even realize, but just like seeing where it's reoccurring and making notes about that enabled me to make greater connections across. So I think, because you're like, oh, I'll always, that was so important to me, I'll always remember that. And then you like next week, you won't even remember what that thing was.
Yeah.
So journaling would be a thing for me too.
Oh, journaling is actually a good one. I'm such a bad journaler, though. Like, I'll be honest. It's there's like so many different ways of journaling. It's insane. Like, journaling is, you can go down a whole rabbit hole, honestly, because there's bullet journaling and then full diary work and then other types of journaling. I mean, you could maybe even argue in a form shadow work could be part of journal. Like, it's insane, like how big that umbrella term of journaling actually can get into. But I'm bad at this. Like, I still have to figure out a system that works for me, because I kind of want to like separate certain things that I'm writing down. Just writing down has been challenging by itself, of like, if I remember that I really need to write it down. So I'm still exploring a good system for myself to really sit down and journal about things that I see, what happens, just to get back to things like you said with your tree, that you remember, oh, I actually went to that tree before, and it seems to be significant now that I'm looking into what happened before, that you have this type of record of past and present now, and that it actually does stick out to you as important, which you would probably have not seen before if you didn't actually write that down. But yeah, I have to find a system. Right now it's not really working for me, because I have so many journals and they're just scattered around, and I don't know. I kind of want to see if I can designate a journal for like specific themes or specific intentions. I don't know if it's going to work. Like, again, process that you're going to have to figure out for yourself what works for you. But yeah, journaling is a very good one. I'm hearing meditation all the time. Which makes sense. I personally started with meditation because it just said like, oh, it's so good for you. It's scientifically proven to be good for your brain in general and mental health. So I would agree with that. It's just there's this one little, not disclaimer, but like a little bit of a caveat I want to put in there, is that not everyone is going to be able to meditate, and not because of, oh, it's too hard to sit down and try to focus. Not even focus, but like just having your thoughts come up and observe them. Like, there are people though that are literally incapable of meditating because of medical issues potentially, or even that is just not safe for them to do this on their own without guidance of a therapist, because trauma can come up, or anxiety, or underlying conditions that they were not even aware of, which I kind of fall into that and I didn't know it.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. So don't do what I did and start meditating 45 minutes in one session. This is such a
okay.
bad idea.
Yeah.
It's really bad. If anything, start really do this very small steps of maybe a minute in the beginning and try to do this regularly as you can. Ideally every day, but as regularly as you can in just very short increments until you can build up a little bit more. Because I didn't do that. I said let's do the 45-minute guided meditations, and then on top of that it was like chakra alignment stuff in visualization. I think that on top of that was not really good to do this without any prior experience of understanding what meditation is, and what I'm really doing. And so I realized probably a few weeks after that, I started to get anxiety attacks from this. So it did the opposite for me. It made it worse. Probably I do have underlying anxiety issues anyways, but it just kind of enhanced that problem further. And then not having a guided therapist or someone who can counsel me on what do I do now if I encounter this during a meditation session, I was completely lost. To this day, I really don't know how to approach this properly. And definitely have to also go through some medical examination just to see, is it really safe, or is that an appropriate method for me to even approach that or not, is the problem. So I'm still having to go through that process for myself, but yeah, you kind of have to figure that out if it's even a safe method for you to do meditation, because not everyone can do that. Again, there's some issue that can come up with that for sure. I do want to put a resource that was very helpful for me to see that as well, is Dr. K. I don't know if anyone has heard of Healthy Gamer before. It's a very interesting channel. It's an actual, I think he's a therapist, clinical therapist or something. If it's wrong, I'm gonna change that, correct that.
Yeah,
but I think he's a therapist. Yeah, and it's a very interesting channel. It's not really witchy, but it's just it broadened my horizon and understanding of what's happening to me, because I could not really figure out what's happening, because I had the expectation of I should be feeling better and handle things more, being able to handle stress management better through meditation. It just kind of made it worse, to the point where I cannot sit down for more than 10 minutes. So I'm working myself up to 10 minutes right now, and just do it in very small increments and do it safer for myself. And also Hearth Witch had a very good video around that as well, because she also put these, medical disclaimers in there as well, just to figure out first if there's anything going on with you physically, if there's a medical condition, underlying condition, just to check on that, because I feel like people don't really do that often. So definitely put the resource in there as well from Hearth Witch. That was a very good one as well for just approaching meditation.
That's so important, because I feel like on the majority of my journey, I haven't really seen disclaimers around meditation, at least not that I can remember, because you hear so many good things about it, but also I can't remember. I think this might have been my transcendental meditation teacher who said meditation is like medication. There's loads of different types of meditation for different things, because also what I practice is a very specific style of meditation, and you have to go and get the training. I mean, I say training, I don't know how else, because it's not really an initiation
or introduction.
Well, that's the thing, it's not an initiation, but it's you still have to go and learn from a teacher. You there's no way you can learn just so, because of just the nature of it. It's taught by a teacher who went and learned to, it's a whole thing. If you literally look up transcendental meditation online, you'll see loads of different schools of it, but it was brought over by Maharishi Mahesh, I'm pretty sure that's the name. So yeah, like that's where the I think it's the Maharishi effect or something, where like they did this study. Sorry, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent, but they did a study where like loads of people around the world would do the transcendental meditation at the same time, and they found that like in those areas over a period of time, the crime rate would drop a little bit, and then when they stopped, it kind of went back up. So it was basically talking about how with collective meditation, it affects the people around you. But anyway, that was my tangent on transcendental meditation. Yeah.
Which one did you go through? Just in case people want to look at it.
Transcendental meditation.
Yeah, but is there like a specific teacher who was providing that?
Oh yeah, so it's my teacher's called Charles Cunningham, and he's part of I'll have to look it up, because there are a few different schools, and mine's definitely in the UK. I don't know if they have the same branch in the US, because I know like there's the David Lynch Foundation, where it's all transcendental meditation, because he was very passionate about that and it changed his life and stuff. But yeah, I will drop that in the description below, the specific school or organization that I learnt from. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's so interesting that it like raised your anxiety levels. Because it's like, for me, I feel like I walk around all day talking to myself. Like I just constantly chatter. My partner makes like fun of me because I just am just talking to myself all the time. And so it's just like it's what I needed. It's like I need to sit down and shut up, and it's just like I'm never gonna hear anything else if I don't be quiet for a minute. So it's just interesting that it can have such a different effect on an array of people.
Yeah, the thing is, I didn't even know about that. Again, it happened because I tried it, and I honestly did not do it in a very safe way. So like, please, anyone who is trying meditation for the first time, like, don't do it in very long sessions right off the bat. That is like, especially if you're not aware you can maybe have a specific condition or are prone to this. The thing is, what happens...
Can I just ask, was it a chakra meditation? Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're like, I shouldn't have done that. Like, not to that degree already right at the beginning. I don't think I should have done that. Like, that was a bad idea. But like, the thing is also that when I'm sitting and I'm observing myself, is that everything, all of the body signals are so enhanced that it gets me to the verge of a panic attack is the problem. Okay. Because then I can feel my heartbeat really, really, really like profoundly, and like all the body signals you usually don't really register that much during the day are like so enhanced. Like I can just feel everything and like notice all of these things. And it can be a lot when you're not used to that. That's like one thing that I noticed. And the second thing is I felt a moment where I just felt some form of shift. And like the weird expansion, I can't even explain that. It's just like, it just felt like I'm expanding. Like all of a sudden I'm just like expanding outside of myself a little bit. It's not an out of body experience. It's just, I'm still my body, but I just can feel like there's like an expansion going on where I don't feel my body is much. And that just out the door. Like that scared the shit out of me because I lost orientation because I was wearing also, those sleeping masks, so that like so it's like dark and I don't have any other distractions, so just help me really hone in and just focus on that. So it's so dark, and then like, dude, it was scary for me because the pitch blackness behind my eyes all of a sudden, just sitting in that position, and losing my orientation. I could not feel my body in space anymore that much. And some people find that very peaceful. It scared the shit out of me. And that's where like a huge anxiety attack started. And I don't even know if I'm really allowed to say this here, but I mean, we can cut it out if if we're not allowed to. But it all of a sudden it just resembled so much of a LSD trip that just turned bad, and that just gave me the same feeling again. And it's like, I can't do that. Like it scared the shit out of me. Is the thing that happened. And so I cannot do that. Not in this capacity again of prolonged time frames. So now I'm really going back to basics. I mean, as we're saying, like back to basics for these. Then I'm really sitting down and just start very slowly. It's not going to be guided meditations for me either. It's just really, I'm sitting down, I'm observing my thoughts. When they come up, I let them go as much as I can and try not to be too distracted from them, and really start slow, like with minute increments, like just by a minute every time, and really until to the point where I feel more comfortable, and then see if I can extend it a little bit. And if needed, I if it's too much at one go, I'm just going to reduce it back again. Like that's the control that I have over it. But yeah. So if anyone else is feeling like that, you're not alone, because I felt like I can't find anyone who has issues like that. So if you're feeling like that and you tried meditation before and you feel like you couldn't pick it up because of that, yeah, you're not alone. And definitely probably talk to a medical care professional and go through this process of physical examination first, and then if you have access to that, to a counselor, therapist, something like that, who can really guide you through this process safely. Because yeah, don't do it alone. Don't do it by yourself like that, for sure.
Especially
like,
if you're doing, especially with something like for example, like chakra work, which is, you know, that's energy work. And energy work, if you're doing energy work, you have to have some kind of foundation in energy. I mean, going into a chakra meditation for 45 minutes is pretty like balls to the wall. Like if you're a beginner, that's pretty intense anyway. I mean,
it was, oh my gosh, it was.
Yeah.
And not knowing anything about energy either was like on top of that. That was even before I went into like back to the occult and witchcraft. I was like, oh, let's do this energy work because it sounds really fun. And then I was like, oh no, this is not fun anymore. I really have issues now. And so that was really bad. But I know better now. I really messed up. And to this day, I'm still trying to deconstruct and untangle like the mess that I just put myself in. But I'm so much more aware now of these things, which is now for the better. Well, shit happens, man.
But I think that also speaks to witchcraft in general, though, because, you know, not to put anyone off meditation, like pretty much most people can do it, but if you do have an underlying condition, like do your research, get appropriate advice from appropriate people if you have access to that, and just don't be stupid. like I'm not saying you're being stupid. You know what I'm saying, like, you know.
Oh no, that was dumb.
We can make
really dumb.
We can make mistakes, but like just like how a lot of those birth practitioners will tell you, like, you're gonna make mistakes and you're gonna have to fucking clean up your mess, and that's just how you learn sometimes. And it's just so interesting because like I've done longer meditations. I've done meditations, like I've done a chakra meditation before, a few before. I've done visualizations. I've done journeying. I struggle with those. Like I can visualize, but it's like I can't always stick with it. Like I don't know. I find that I'm always the one in the group, and when I say the group, in any group that I'm in who does a visualization or a journey, and they experience all this stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I just got really distracted, and I feel like I'm experiencing nothing, and now I feel like I'm shit at this.
Oh my gosh, the wording "I'm shit at this" is so funny.
I'm just shit at meditating. But that's also the other point I was gonna mention about meditation, is that like in kind of most in I it's annoying because meditation is so vast, but generally with most basic meditations, I think anyway, that's mostly accessible, like what you'll get on a lot of apps of like that have all these 10-minute meditations that are achievable for people who have no background in it whatsoever, which is the majority of people. Hang on, what was I going to say? There's this what's the word I'm trying to think of? People oh my god, I can't fucking speak. Hold on, let me just catch myself here. You always hear people say like, oh, meditation's so hard, like I can't meditate because I'm always so distracted, I always get lost in thought, I'm bad at meditation. And I wasn't saying that I am bad, but I often come up feeling like I'm shit at it, or like something's wrong with me, which it's not. This is just my own shit. But like, there is no being good or bad at meditation. Just the experience. Getting distracted or getting caught up in thought in meditation and stuff, like, common misconception. That was what I was going to say. God, this much. By the way, it's Mercury retrograde right now, and I'm on my day one of my period, so just everything shit. Everything shit. Anyway, the common misconception that I'm bad at meditation because I get distracted. It's like, yeah, but the point of meditation a lot of the time, unless it's very specific styles like transcendental meditation, other than that, it's also about training your mind, learning to sit with yourself, learning your own mind, learning how your thoughts work, how the process of your mind works, how you kind of process when you sit in that space, because it can be uncomfortable and you're just like, I just want to move, I just want to scratch, and like, just scratch the itch. Like, you're not gonna fucking ruin your meditation because you need to scratch the itch. Just fucking scratch it.
Hey guys, I am in the process of editing, and I just wanted to come in and expand on something that I was talking about because I completely forgot. Meditation, right? So I'm talking about training the mind with most meditations. A lot of meditations, common ones you'll find, that those on the apps, a lot on YouTube, will be talking about focusing the mind and training the mind. Or if they're not talking about it, that's often what you're doing. There's a lot of focus and training involved. But with transcendental meditation, it's different. But there's one thing that links to all meditation, is that thought is not the enemy. Thought is a very clear sign that stress is usually being released. So at least where transcendental meditation is concerned, this specific style is about helping the mind become more quiet, but not just the mind, it's the body also. So when the mind and the body is able to become more quiet and settled, and it shifts into a state of rest, it allows stress to be released. And one way that can show up is through thought. Another way that can show up is through sensations in the body. So when I started, a common thing I would experience, which I also experienced in other meditations, like what I was saying, I was making a joke just now about scratching the itch. I would feel little points on my body become itchy, but I'm pretty sure that was my body releasing stress. And so it's releasing stress through the nerves, and that sensation felt itchy. And I experience a huge amount of thought arising in my meditations, and that is, I have to also remind myself in the meditation, oh, stress is just being released, and then I return back to the mantra. So I just wanted to drop in and expand on my point because I didn't say that. Anyway, let's continue.
Like, it's a process. It's a process that teaches you. Meditation is also a teacher. Not all meditations are a teacher, but most basic meditations where you're learning to just get in touch, like a body scan, or just focusing on where your breath sits in your body, or a little visualization of light coming down and swelling around you and grounding into the earth. Like, it's good for your brain, but again, seek medical help if you have doubts. Don't be a fucking idiot. Like, look after yourself. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's, meditation. Fun.
It's funny that you're now mentioning the visualization part of meditation, because like I think, Melissa, you do them more often. Like, are they called journey work, right? It's more like the way of meditating with the
like path working or journey work, or what was it? Like someone's like, I'm an internal vision technician.
That's so cool.
That is what's your position? Yeah. Have you tried to turn it on and off again? Did you unplug it? Okay, then I track that. Yeah, because like with those I have no issue. I think I'm just very much a visual learner already, and I'm daydreaming is like my specialty if I could get paid for that. But I don't really have any issues with that, because I think because I have just that focus of something outside of my body, just like mentally having these pictures up and going through these pathworks, and this is coming up, or you go through this. Like, I don't really have an issue with those, because I think my focus is on something specific that I'm kind of conjuring up in my mind internally. The openness of meditation for me, of like the pitch darkness behind my eyes, and then those thoughts, like observing the thoughts, and that's where I don't know what it is. Like, again, like, there's this shift that I can feel. It's almost like a physical sensation for me. I'm feeling the shift, and it scares me that I'm so expanding out now, and the losing of orientation again. Like, this is so dizzying to me, and it's just like, I can't handle that. Like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. That's how it feels. It feels like I'm about to die. It's so wild. Like, yeah. So definitely something I'm working on. But like, yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it. So there is a way through it for sure. And then, since we're already on the topic of meditation, I just want to ask Melissa, because you have more experience, or it's more part of your practice with the journey work. How do you do that? Like, do you have those on an app, or do you script your own journey work and then kind of prepare those, and then you go through these steps and see what you get out of that? Or I'm just so interested, because like I don't see a lot of people doing this as much.
Mm-hmm. So there's two ways. There's like ones that you follow along with, right? And like my teacher Josh Williams, he has some that he puts up, and I go through those. Or you like do the visualization on your own. And I think after you've sat through a couple path workings that people lead you on, then you have a better idea of what you're trying to do. And so, it's you do world building, right? So you're building a world, and you're going there, and the idea is that you're going to the liminal place where others or spirit exists. So it's like, it's that hedge crossing. It's trying to meet those things halfway. Instead of trying to ask them to come on this side, you're trying to go and meet them halfway in a place that you both can get to, if that makes any sense. And I feel like it's like when I take my intentions and my spell work and the things I do to those places and do them there, I feel that they're, the offerings are better received. The things I do, it like shakes the web of potential. It just shakes it more than if I try to do it just in this place, in reality here. So if I journey to those places and do those things, I feel like I it's a stronger effect. Is that kind of what you were asking? Is there more you want to flesh out on that?
No, I think that's good, because like maybe like the only clarification is like so many terms where I'm not even entirely sure if people are coming to the consensus of that term, what it means. Like sometimes I'm really fuzzy on that myself, because I don't really understand like sometimes I just don't really understand the difference between meditation, journey work, and astral work, for instance, or astral space. Because I'm not really, I don't know if I ever really do that or have done that before, and descriptions kind of vary between people of how they perceive that. So like it's really fuzzy for me. So I'm really interested of like someone who has the experience I can like now directly ask of that, because I'm not sure if I'm really doing this myself. So yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if astral work and journey work, if they're synonymous. To me, they would be. There's probably people who would argue that they're totally different. But it's you're pretending, you're make-believing, you're telling yourself a story. And at some point for me, it kind of flickers in and out between me driving the story and then the story just happening. And that's kind of when the downloads happen. I was like, oh, that, I didn't have to imagine the next step. The next step just occurred. And so that's kind of where the downloads happen for me in that work.
That's cool though. I tried just very few myself. The beginning was like the very first one was really odd, because as you said, it's almost like make-believe, and I was like I'm making this up, and you meet these things, but sometimes like I don't even know what's coming through, or like just nothing appears. I'm like, okay, what am I doing now? Like internally panicking. Like I'm supposed to meet this, nothing happens. So what do I do now? Do I just like sit around and be like, I guess that's my journey for the rest of the time until everyone else is coming up again? I don't know. Like, and then, I mean, that was the first one, but then I think the more I did it, which again, it's just less than a handful maybe, it just kind of like got better and better with it, the more I did. And what's interesting, like one specific journey work that I went on that I did, but so there's someone guiding you, right? I did it through a recording, but like it was someone narrating what you're doing, where you're at, who you potentially meet, and all these things, like painting the picture. It's almost like D&D, kind of like the whatever that role is called. I'm not D&D, but like this is just the analogy that I just came up with.
The Dungeon Master?
The Dungeon Master, exactly. So it's kind of like that. They're narrating and painting the picture of where we're at, world building, the characters, introducing the characters and what you find and what situation you're in. It's kind of like that. And so you're building that in your mind. In one or two times, it was really significant that something happened ahead of time, and then the narrator caught up to where I was already at. So that was really cool. I was like, wow, I got steps ahead of what that narrator was building up to, which was like, oh, that's cool. Like I take that as an intuitive win for myself. And that's where I'm like, okay, now it goes, I guess, more into the direction of, yeah, as you said, like something in between of, okay, there's like something legitimately happening that is outside of the usual fantasy or whatever I'm imagining right now, and like some legitimate, okay, there is something, maybe there's something waiting at the end for me, maybe I'm receiving a message or download or come out with something, but like that was really, for me personally, something very significant. So especially with someone struggling more with skepticism and self-doubt, so that was really cool. Yeah, and I do agree. It feels like a mix of you're building this up for yourself, and then there is something surprisingly happening all of a sudden that you were not even imagining or could even understand that would come up. So it's really interesting. So anyone who's interested in that, look it up. Maybe that's your jam.
Yeah, that's a good point. It happens to me too, where they're like, okay, and they hand you something. Look in your hand. What did they give you? And you're like, I got nothing.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is me every single time. I get so mad. I'm just like, well, there's nothing. Does that mean anything? And I'm like trying not to make something be there.
Yeah.
Either I don't do enough journeying meditations for that to kind of come naturally, or like I don't know, and maybe I don't do more because of those experiences. I don't know, but yeah, I find it very disheartening when I do that, which puts me off it, because I get really worried about. Yeah, I get in my head where I'm like, what is it, my ego getting in the way? Am I just like am I just trying to put something there so that I have something? Like, I'm just like, oh, fuck, I can't be bothered. So I'm like, right, I'll just go back to my transcendental meditation. I mean, the only way for TM to really work is to do it twice daily. Forever. So yeah.
It makes me think too, the more you journey and go to those places, the more real they become in the way that a book is real. Like,
okay.
It's like your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and your thoughts. So that's why you can watch a scary movie and your body's like, your heart's pounding, and because your brain can't tell the difference. And so it just makes me wonder if that's the same way you get really connected to characters in books, and they feel like real people in real places. And it's that same thing that you're to your brain they are. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but.
Yeah, no, it does. It probably is a case if I just don't do enough of it to really kind of have those experiences that can be had. That is probably the case. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to kind of like wrap it up, I guess, it's just that certain methods are just not going to be your thing, honestly. Like, it's just not for you, and that's totally fine. There's tons of things that are definitely not for me. Where I give myself a pat on the back is like, you tried it, you were trying to keep an open mind about that, you tried it maybe 1, 2, 3 times, and then it's like, it's really not for you, and then move on and be like, you tried, it's not for you, totally fine. No harm done, basically. And maybe it's not for you now, maybe it's something for you later, who knows. Like, I just keep that in the back burner and be like, okay, maybe I just need to revisit that later. Because maybe I have to learn something first to build on it before I really get into this type of work. And that can be the case as well. So that's totally fine. I mean, that's why you build your own practice, right? Like, you figure it out and then see what gels with you and what's not really for you ultimately. It really depends on what people want from their practice and what their intention is behind that. Like, do you want to be in contact with spirits, so your practice can look different than someone who wants to just do spell work? It really depends on what you want to get out of it, I guess. And even if you don't know what you don't know, then start with the generalized basics that a lot of other people and practitioners have been recommending probably a lot, like meditation, basics of energy work, and then kind of go from there, and what really interests you in starting as a basic practice.
Thanks for joining us. We publish every second Wednesday of every month.
Hit that like and subscribe button.
Yeah.
Smash it.
Throw it in the cauldron with us. All right, there's your outro. Okay. I hope you don't want this 2 hours of your life back, or hour of your life back. We publish an episode second Wednesday of every month. Thanks for spending this time with us. See you on the next one.
And catch us next month for part 2.
It's a Mercury retrograde kind of like intro outro thing. That's
what we're doing. I'm going with it because apparently I really, really can't think at the moment. So I'm just trusting you lot. I'm riding your carriage right now. Yeah.